I'm not a songwriter. I really, you got to earn those stripes. You know, I'm not. I'm a dad, and I'm a dad that tries to find any doorway into my kids' hearts for, you know, hope and positivity and all the things that, you know, you want them to have. When this whole project started, I would say that I could find no point of entry. You know, you had a global pandemic. You know, we're shut down from that. You had our Twin Cities where we live on fire, you know, just literally exploding in anger and agony and unrest. The agency that I helped lead was the backdrop on CNN every night with barricades and barbed wire and tanks. Someone in the neighborhood came through and put swastikas into our sidewalk. Some not too terribly far from my own mixed family's doorstep. And so, you know, that's a lot to internalize. It was kind of a break the glass moment as a dad. Like, how do you find maybe a way to express yourself that even you didn't know you had? And so every night I would kind of sneak out after the kids were down, and I'd go to the fire pit, and I would pour a little wine, and I'd say a little prayer, and I'd get to plucking on my guitar, pull out my iPhone, and I would just kind of cathartically put whatever I had in there. And every night was kind of a repetition. Put the kids down, pour a little wine, say a little prayer, get to plucking. And over the course of a few weeks, I figured it was maybe time to let my wife in on what I had been doing. The wine was missing. And I told her, you know, I don't really have any right to think this is anything. I'm not a songwriter. And I don't really have any reason to think it's going to be much. But something in me tells me there's something here. I don't know why. And I cannot imagine I'm the only person out here feeling these things. And then after a few weeks, it hit me, you know, I knew who to call. I just could not imagine that person would want to take the call.
So I get a call from a friend, Tom Fugleberg. Tom and I have known each other for 20 years. We got to know each other both being marketing guys. We were partners at an ad agency. But we went our separate ways to start our own companies, and I hadn't really heard from him for the longest time. And I thought it was going to be something related to marketing, and of course, it surprised me. He said, I want to try to write some songs, and I want you to help me. And I said, okay. Does your wife know you're doing this?
What are you doing? I'm like, I have no idea.
But I love the guy. He's an incredible human being. He's incredibly talented. And he's just so darn humble and grounded. So I looked at it as an opportunity just to hang out for a while and kind of reconnect.
But, you know, it had been a while. And in that while, you know, I had been literally watching him. TV, online, whatever. Rocket Club, the band he was part of, was just blowing up. I mean, one day I'd see him, it's like Grand Ole Opry with Eric Church. Next day he's playing a bowl game, the national anthem, Sugarland. Oh, I opened with them too. And he was playing all these venues and charting and all those things. So in the time that we had not, talked to each other, the intimidation only grows.
But what was happening at the time, we were in the midst of the pandemic, and we couldn't go anywhere to collaborate. We couldn't go inside buildings or rooms.
Maybe we should meet at the park. And so we started the park tour.
And we got our iPhones out and we started recording the very early embryonic stages of these ideas. And it was hilarious because we go back and listen to one of the parks near an airport. So every time I swear I hit the record button, an airplane would take off over us.
It was so noisy. And there's sometimes that we would play and then like a mom with toddlers would come through and they would stop and they're like, they're just milk drunk.
He brought a few song ideas he had. And when I heard them, I was like, wow,
we got to a point where he was kind of like, okay, I think we actually might have something here.
We need to find somebody to help us produce this and take it to the next level. One of the best music minds I know, Matt Kirkwald.
It's actually gone quite a while from hearing Brian. The last time we talked a lot was our days in Rocket Club together. And I'm always interested in whatever Brian's working on, because I think he's got a great mind for music and incredible creative force.
Right after the first meeting, I instantly knew that we were going to have some really, really great music at the end of this whole process.
I figured out really quickly that Tom is an incredible empath writer. He can connect with the emotion of a lyric really quickly and really deeply. And we had a good time actually putting that together. It felt good. It felt authentic and organic, and there was nothing forced about it.
Yeah, this whole process for me has been really overwhelming. How could it not be? You start with an iPhone and you pour your heart into it, and now you have a Brian and a Matt.
It's good to finally hear it the way I've been hearing it in my head forever.
Sweet.
And then that becomes a Pamela McNeil and a Tony Cacchetti and all the musicians and who they're touring with. John here at Drum Farm, Tommy frickin' Barbarella, who shaped your upbringing with his music with Prince. And then you go to Nashville, and Justin Corley, he's working with Lady Gaga. He's working with Paul McCartney. He's working with, Taylor Swift. What the heck are you doing with this whole thing? All it is to me is it's a little reassurance that that initial thought that maybe there's something here, me voicing that to my wife, maybe enough people agree that there's
Embedded in the messaging, we were seeking permission to find our way back to happiness and love. Try to find the good in everything.
Ultimately, what we're trying to do is think of these songs as little permission slips. Little reminders, little green lights that it is in fact okay to keep the good stuff, because the world's going to come at us with enough of the other. And so that's really what these are. Just little reminders, even 4 minutes at a time, that it's okay to hope.
That's why we're calling this Seeking Permission, because we just want to ask people to listen to it, enjoy it, and maybe take it forward however they want to.
My hope is that some hope finds you.